few minutes ago, I prepped her nails and I did like just a quick application on this nail. When you apply the acrylic already or gel already, what do I do next to help me speed up my filing, right? So of course you always use e-file and hand filing. So the first thing I do is I don't ever pick up a file right away. After I'm done with both hands, the acrylic, I pick up a medium carbide bit like this, between 15 and 17,000 RPM. The reason I say that depends on how new or old the bit is too. So let's just say the first thing I do is I'll pick up and cut down the shape. So I will just, let's just say she want to keep it almond. So when you angle it like this, then the bit more smooth. Look how smooth that is. See, that cut down a lot of hand filing already. If you can use your e-file and cut into the shape that you want. And let's just say you want a square, same thing. Tilt the hand piece forward like this to cut straight. Don't leave your hand piece or your carbide bit straight like this. It's harder to cut because it doesn't have room to spin. So when you do that, you're going to have problem with it. But angle it a little bit, you find that it's more smooth. You get into the shape that you want. See, by doing that, you cut down the time of shaping. I'm using the tip of the bit with the side of the nail. See, I'm going from left to right. So what I'm doing is to use the tip of the bit, angle this side. And then I use the mid of the bit on the middle of the nail. And then I use the bottom of this on this side. So that way I utilize the whole entire bit. So I'm not just using the halves. That way you make the whole use of it. So first I shorten the nail, then I use this just that way to kind of shave down unevenness on the surface. I'm not worried about the whole, if it's smooth evenly, I don't have to worry about that yet. All I'm doing right now is just trying to kind of roughly move, shave it where it sort of even out a little bit. But by doing that, you could tell the nail is almost thinned down a little bit already. And then what I'm going to do is taunt her skin a little bit. I'm going to go closer to her cuticle area, but I'm not going to go as tight. That will be my next step later. So I'm just going to roughly just kind of placing my bit parallel to the nail. And if you pay attention, you notice I kind of turn my client nail to this side a little bit. The reason I'm doing that is so I know where my bit going, so I don't cut into her cuticle. When it comes to this side, to the middle, I go and keep it to the middle. But once I reach to this side, I turn her nail a little bit towards this side, so then I can see where my bit going to. Seriously, you just cut down, trim, go up and down, and go cuticle. Each step that I'm going, the reason it looks like I'm doing a lot because I'm showing you, but in my salon, like I said, it's just really quick. Because each step that I'm doing, I only go about 2-3 times in that bit. So once I'm done with that, that's when I go in with a file. What I'm going to do is just take the file and go straight out first. Just so right here, it's not bulking out. I'm going to tilt the file and go under and do the shaping under. So you want to keep this nice and straight. So this side the same thing, nice and straight and clean underneath. So you keep that line clean. So what you want to do is use the file and kind of angle it 30 degrees and just kind of contour that side. And then same thing with this one on this side. You just use the file and angle it about 30 degrees and then just shape the size. And then of course you're going to check the profile a little bit, make sure it's all nice. And so as you can tell, that's the reason I pick up the bit earlier before the file. By doing the bit first, you are shaping down the nail so then it's not too thick for you to do hand filing. So what you're doing with the hand filing is in order for the nail to give the nail really in nice shape, you have to do it by hand. Because e-filing, it's just cutting down the product, but it doesn't really shape the nails as nice as the file. So that's why I do that first, to use the machine to cut down all the product that I needed. Then by doing this, I'm giving it shape. I'm just going to keep this into a ballerina nail shape, like I said. So I'm just going to clean up. And I'm not going to use the file, go closer to the cuticle area. I don't need to. because I'm going to use the e-file to do that for me. That way, I'm not going to worry if I'm going too close or too tight on the cuticle area. So as you can see, just by doing that really lightly, I barely file off any acrylic, and it kind of come to the shape that I wanted. Since I still have the bit here, what I'm going to do is just going to then thin down the tip that I wanted, because this is a lot quicker, right? And then if you have to, go back and do any surface work where you feel like you need it. But usually I don't, because I usually just use the KUPA bit and thin down my free edge right there. So now I'm just going to thin it with overall look, and then I'm not going to buff it. On average, a lot of nail tech buff it as their last step, but I want you to change this. Take the sanding band that you prep your client, take that sanding band and do the buffing. And the reason I said that, because now I'm going to turn my e-file to about 8,000 RPM again, and look, now I can go back and clean her cuticle area. You see here? If you can see, the cuticle is not really tight yet. Remember, I already used the medium sanding band to prep her nail. By the time you use this sanding band again, it's not going to be medium anymore. So it's almost between medium and fine. So it's like a buffer. When you buff the nail, sometimes, let's just say you buff the nail. If you're good at it, you might get the smooth look and the shape that you want. But I feel like a lot of buffing is a lot of wear and tear on your wrist. So why do I do this? This way, I just let the machine do the work for me. All I do is take the sanding band, go tight to the cuticle area. And remember, I'm using my speed really low. I'm not go high speed at all. With 7,000 or 8,000 RPM, I'm able to go closer to her cuticle area. Very tight. You see it? That way, I'm flushing that out and without damaging her cuticle or hurting her at once. So you do this all in one step. You're cleaning her cuticle, contour that cuticle, flushing out that acrylic or gel that you would, whatever you're using, and then I'm using this. And because the sanding band is so round, when I do this, it's rounded off for me. But by hand, there's no way you can contour that shape fast like that.
Right.
But with this simple step, look how easy that is. And I'm flushing it. I barely do it a few times, and look how flush that is a bit. Isn't that better already? This length, I would do it about an hour. Okay, so like that's it. And like I said, you keep doing that on both hands. You see how time-saving that is? With this sanding band, I only go like, seriously, I pick it up, I go cuticle, I go about 2-3 times, and then I go around 2-3 times. And that's it. But you see how this is more efficient than the buffing. And now you don't have to waste another product.
Right, that's true.
You already use this to prep her nail, and just use the same tool to finishing off, and you don't waste another product. So you're saving time and money.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for tuning in.